Joined by the man himself, AJ. He'll be taking on the big baby, as he's known. That news conference was a little more serene than the one in New York last week. No pushing or anything like that, or even too much name calling.
Yeah, no pushing, no name calling. Just more of a relaxed vibe. Starts here, on the decline, build back up for the fight, and that's when the fireworks will be ready.
Now in there, you said you're going to rearrange his face. They said, his camp said, that this is the toughest test you've ever had. Which one of those is right, or are they both right?
Well, looking at him, it's going to be pretty difficult to rearrange that face because he's an ugly one. But it's a tough fight, of course. That's why we're in the business. Heavyweight championship boxing of the world. This ain't no low-level stuff, so any fight and anyone who steps up at this level is going to be tough. It's my job to make it look easy, right? And that's what I do. That's what elite fighters do, is make tough jobs look easy.
And obviously, a lot's been made about the fact that you're going into his backyard. You're going to New York. You're going out there to really prove what a global fighter you are.
Yeah.
Does that give you any concerns at all? Does that worry you?
Of course it does. There's no place fighting like home. I've just been in New York for the last week, which has been class. But there's nothing like being on UK soil. You know, when I'm here, right, I feel the nerves. My hair standing up. I don't know why, but it's because I want to give so much. But when I was in New York, I just felt so relaxed and calm because I feel like the underdog. I'm away from home, but that's what a world champion's got to do. I heard Lennox Lewis say it once ago, is that Josh Rowley wants to fight in the UK. Being a world champion means you have to fight around the world. Well, look, what a stop-off to go to MSG, of all places, and sell it out. So that's what world champions do, and we're on the road to kind of creating history.
He talked over you there. You had your belts on display. He sat waiting for you to arrive with his feet on the table, sunglasses on, even though it's still only February here in England. Is he showing you enough respect?
Nah, no respect. But I don't want that. I don't even need Miller's respect. You know, even after I beat him, I don't want his respect. You know how it is with me. If you know me as a fighter, I'm not into the fanfare. I'm not into shaking hands after the fight. If you disrespect me now, you disrespect me for a lifetime. And I'm petty. I hold grudges, but that's just who I am. So I'm not looking for his respect one bit. He is who he is, and I don't even want to change him.
He seemed to get under your skin a bit in the New York, the opening news conference for this fight, when he pushed you and when he name-called you, said some pretty horrible things. Yeah. Dillian Whyte, I think, was the last fighter to get under your skin, and it kind of affected your performance on the night. Will you let that happen this time?
Have you seen the Dillian Whyte fight in me? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened at the end?
I do, yeah. At the start.
Listen, it's not about how it starts, all about how it finished. And that's what I'm worried. That's what I'm going for. I'm not so much worried about how it starts. I'm always more interested about the finish. And I've been beating guys and knocking guys out for a few years now. And I just don't think miraculously it's going to change because Miller's in the ring.
Anyone who doubts that this is a big deal won't have heard what's just been announced. This is the highest pre-sales in tickets for a Madison Square Garden fight ever in history. So that says quite a lot about how the States certainly, and of course your fans here, are seeing this fight. It's a big one. He's a big lad, but it's a big fight as well, isn't it?
Massive fight, and that's unbelievable, those ticket sales. I'm not really into all that side of things because I'm the fighter, but in terms of the team that have been making this opportunity come to reality, they've done a great job. Whether, you know, it's easier now in today's market than it was years ago to get tickets because you can go online, you haven't got to walk, is one thing. Whether big ticketing companies have sold them to resell is another thing. There has to be a secondary market. It's like me, I'm not going to take all these tickets and sit on them myself. There has to be a demand. So there's a big demand for this fight, a big demand for myself to come to the States. There's a big demand in UK. And the main thing, as I always say, it's not about me. There's a big undercard on the night, and the whole of boxing benefits from this. So the ambassadors of the sport keep on talking about the fighting, keep on fighting strong, keep on building the business because everyone benefits from it in the long run.
And in terms of preparations for this fight, in terms of a training camp, there was talk of you maybe setting up in Brooklyn. Now there's talk of maybe it being Miami. Have you decided yet how you're going to approach this?
You know, if we were to choose Brooklyn or Miami, we'd probably go in Miami if I have anything to do with it. But if it's Brooklyn, if it's a car garage, as long as there's a ring, a heavy bag, a speedball, and space to skip, that's what boxing is. You don't need much. So as long as I've got the basic necessities, I need to kind of continue my training. I don't mind where it is, honestly.
Just finally, Miller said as part of that news conference that he's got this fight, he wants to become world champion to start with, but in the long term he wants to be an ambassador for the human race. Have you got big ambitions like that?
I am that I am. I help people when I can. I look after myself. And I am who I am, you know, so yeah, I look after people when I can. Miller, that's a whole nother case, being an ambassador. Start as you mean to go on, do you know what I mean? So as I said, I am that I am. I just go about my business, look after people, I take care of myself, and yeah, that's being an ambassador for yourself and your community as such.
Great to speak to you, AJ.
Pleasure.
Thanks for your time.
So much.